puts a lot of stress on us, but I just want to reiterate, while this case is getting a lot of national attention, we look at all of our homicides in that manner. They all bring us stress because someone lost their lives, and the family is putting it in our hands to be able to solve that and bring justice to them. And so our detectives work around the clock continuously to try to address and solve all homicide cases, which is why we have the 100 that were solved last year. So this case is getting national attention, but I just want to reiterate that we solved 100 cases last year. So those detectives are putting work in and day out on every single case that they get. And so that is a stressful job, which is why it's so important that we make sure that we're continuously checking on them, checking on their well-being, make sure that they have the resources they need to be able to decompress, and make sure that we have them in a good headspace and a good mind to be able to keep continuing to address these cases. When you say different, we have a lot of complex cases that we've addressed and covered. Is this case concerning? Absolutely. Is it something that we want to solve? Is it something that we want to bring justice to? 100%. We've had complex cases that we're still addressing that we haven't been able to solve as well from previous years that we're continuously looking into. But this case is definitely disturbing. It's definitely something that we want to make sure that we pour a lot of energy into to try to address and solve. We want to bring some justice to the family. We know that there are a lot of concerns and a lot of questions surrounding this case, and we want to be able to be as transparent and answer as many of them as we can. Unfortunately, there are some things that we can't talk about for the integrity of the investigation. We want to make sure that when that time comes and we do identify a suspect, that case is not compromised, and that we're able to actually get that case convicted and through the process without any type of compromise. We're asking for patience, but we're also asking for help. We want people to supply tips, give us information, whether it's a text message, a phone call, an email. If you have any information regarding this case, if you know anything, we're asking you to please contact us. Let us know what you have, but also understand that while you may not know all of the things that are happening behind the scenes as it relates to investigations, we're looking at every single tip. We are looking at everything that is coming into us to determine whether or not it's valid, to determine whether or not it's relevant to our case. But we're asking you to just understand that there are things that we're not going to necessarily be able to share. We know there's a lot of information going around on social media. Just be patient and know that our detectives are working around the clock to ensure that we're looking at these tips. The ones that are valid, we're delving into them. The ones that are not valid, if we're able to rule something out, we rule it out immediately so that we can then focus our attention and our efforts on the tips or the information that we should be.
I'll just add, there are a lot of internet investigators. Much of what you see on the internet, first of all, yes, we are monitoring that, and much of what you read is just not factual. We're not going to jump in on those chats and add our comments to those. But as recently as yesterday, you're aware that a recording came out that initially everyone thought was one of our victims. And then the family shared later in the day that that was not the victim. Responsibly, most media agencies took down that audio. But that's a good example of people want the same thing we do, and that is to solve a tragic case like this. And sometimes people run with information that's just not factual. And a homicide investigation, whether it's this one or another one, it's a really delicate balancing act between community safety and investigative integrity. And I think we have a good relationship with the community, and they know when there is community safety concerns, we are going to get that information out as soon as possible.
We know the circumstances as it relates to this particular incident. We did receive a call for a wellness check. I think it was around 9:03 a.m. And we did have an officer that responded to that wellness check initially. That officer, unfortunately, went to the wrong location initially as it related to that wellness check. It was not the right house. He spent about 10 minutes doing what he thought was appropriate, had it been the right house, knocking on the door, going around to the backyard, doing all the things that you would do in an effort to try to reach out to the family or to anyone that may have been in that home. It was not the right location. We later received another call saying, hey, this is, we need someone out here. And so we did respond back to that location, about 40 minutes later, where
the location where the call came from.
Where the actual call came from. And so that is when we learned and we found out that there were actually deceased. The two victims were deceased.
Mm-hmm. You said the night that this happened, you said you guys got a call for service there?
No, the next day.
The next day.
It was well after.
This was after, I'm assuming after Mr. Tepe didn't show up to.
Yes, I'm sorry. Okay. So it was around 9:03 a.m. the following day when he didn't show up for work, and there was a well-being call that came out.
Was this and this may be a question you may be able to answer or not, was this a targeted attack?
And so this is what we can say. We don't know. We don't have our suspect identified, and that's why we're asking for tips and information. So it would be premature for us to make a determination on what this is. We want to be careful in making that determination on what we have. So until we identify a suspect, we cannot 100% say what this is. But what we can tell you is that there is no stone that we're leaving unturned as it relates to any information or any tips that come in. So as soon as I know it's frustrating for people, I know they want answers. As soon as we're able to provide more information, we will absolutely be coming back to talk about that, to give updates, and to be able to give more information. But right now, it's premature for us to be able to say what the motive is, or we don't have a suspect identified at this point.
And the main thing, too, you guys need those tips from the public.
Absolutely.
If anybody saw anything, just kind of speak up.
We do. We need those tips. It's important for the community to keep giving us those tips. Even if it's something small that you think that doesn't matter, that you think was irrelevant, it could be something that could break this case wide open. So we're asking people, if you have any information, if someone told you something, if there's anything that you think that could be relevant to this, please reach out to us. Please let us know.
And the video, you guys have been knocking on doors to getting different video from different homes as well, too. That's going to be key in this investigation.
Absolutely. We're looking, and that's another thing. If someone has video or if they have information that they think is relevant, even if it's not that day, it could be a couple days before, it could be a couple days after. I know a lot of people are focused just on that day. There may be information that could be relevant that may have been a week prior, 2 weeks prior, a week after. If you think that it's something that you may know about this particular case, we're asking that you reach out and give us that information.
We have a person of interest on that video. Have you guys been able to get any sort of information on that, and why is it important to kind of locate that person potentially?
We definitely want to locate the person that is on that video. Again, we're asking if anybody has any information, please reach out and let us know. That person was in that area, and so we do need to speak to them. We do need to make sure that we're following all those leads.
This is not the only case, you guys are taking this seriously, but, because other families may think, well, why is my case not as important, or what makes this case, although horrible, what makes this case more important than what's happening with my family?
And it doesn't. There's no case that is more important, which is why I go back to the fact that we solved 100 homicides and 30 from previous years. I'd even go as far as to say that it's not even about the year, which is why I always talk about the 30 homicides that we saw from previous years, because we don't stop looking for homicide suspects. We don't stop investigating cases just because the new year changed or just because, something else happened. Every single case is extremely important to us. Every single family is extremely important to us. And we work really hard to try to solve these cases. This is getting national attention, so we wanted to make sure that we were transparent and we address it. But all of our cases are extremely important to us.
I think I'd just like to add the phone number. And so if you do have a tip, if you do have video that might even be historical video going back weeks and months, that tip number is the same, 614-645-2228. If they can call that tip line, we have a triage system set up that a detective will follow up with someone that calls in information, and they'll collect that video or they'll gather that information and follow up on that lead.
I think that it's important when we're investigating cases to be able to get as much or gather as much information as we can that could possibly lead us to a suspect. So we look at all avenues of any information to be able to do that.